What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now I know I've been kind of MIA right after got the car started and whatnot, so let me explain a little bit. So here's the car right behind me. Pretty much I was having complications with like tuning, scheduling, things like that. The car runs and drives. I did drive it to the exhaust shop, got the exhaust put on from the headers back, and pretty much as soon as I got back home, that's where it sat. And then had a few other projects I needed to take care of before I got working on mine again, and so it kind of got pushed back like on the back burner, and that's about it. However, I do have a surprise for you guys, so let me show you. All right, now check it out. We're gonna go boost it, guys. Honestly, never thought that it would happen this soon, but came across a really good deal, couldn't pass it up. So here we have a Paxton 2200 Supercharger kit, Procharger kit, whatever you want to call it. Got the intercooler, obviously the blower, intercooler piping, air intake, and so this is a booster pump. Just because I don't have a fuel system yet, pretty much just gonna use one of these paired with Dishworks 1000cc injectors, and yeah, we should be able to run it like that. So super stoked, honestly. Pretty much today you guys are just gonna watch me put it all on, and yeah, so let's get started. So as I was saying, I'm gonna be running the Dishworks 1000cc injectors. You guys can see it right there. So pretty much we're gonna start with that, just because it's probably one of the easiest things to do. Just get the injector, push it into the hole right there, and get the fuel rail back on, and you're good. So yeah, check it out. So as you guys can see, all the injectors are back on. We're just gonna get the whole fuel rail back on the car, bolt it down. We should be good. Guys, so injectors are back on, fuel rails back on. It's just 4 10mm bolts, 1 2 1 2, and then we can reconnect the fuel line back. And because I have a return style fuel system from the whole swap itself, I just have a really easy plug, or like a clip pretty much, and there it is. So next I'm thinking we'll probably throw in the intercooler, and then the mounting plate for the actual Paxton, and coolant hoses will be last. Also, we got to throw on the throttle body and the throttle body spacer, but that can be when we start running the intercooler piping and whatnot. So yeah, let's get started. All right, so we got the intercooler here. Pretty much it's gonna go bolt onto these two and these two from the back side. Here's what the bolts look like, spacer, and then it is gonna need a nut in the back, which I have here, and I can use one of those. But yeah, so let's get that put on real quick, and yeah. Guys, intercooler's on. I got the big old Vorteg right there. So highly recommend having a second person help you. If not, use a jack. Just because if you guys saw, I was kind of struggling myself. However, it is possible to do by yourself. Just like I said, use a jack or some type of blocks, something high enough. But yeah, so we got all 4 bolts on with the nut in the back. Now I am gonna have to find some other nuts to tie down here. If you have the stock crash bar, you won't run into this problem. And if you buy this kit new, unlike I did, I got it used. maybe these will be supplied to you. So yeah, let's move on. Next, I think I said we're gonna start running the intercooler piping, as well as throw on the throttle body and spacer. And yeah, so I've installed and taken off this kit about 3 or 4, 5 times, different times, and every single time there's always a new problem. Now in my case, because obviously I swapped the car, I'm retaining AC and whatnot, these AC lines are different from a 1314 Coyote car. So these AC lines are actually from a 3-valve. And so what I had to do, which I'm hoping works, I'm not too sure if it will yet, I pretty much had to push these lines back and make some room, cut some pieces off the fan, and I actually tucked the AC condenser more closer to the radiator. You guys can see it's like right up against it. Now I didn't have any bolts, but I just zip tied it, and I mean, it's not going anywhere. This just needs to be bolted in here with the little thing that it comes with, and I should be good. However, if I do run into any issues, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the intercooler piping that runs through this side, just because this line mainly. But I want to keep my AC. I don't want to delete it. And even if I did get a 1314 AC lines, it still wouldn't work, because the lines that go to the back of the firewall, they bolt on differently. So yeah, we're just gonna go on about it, see what happens, and yeah, so let's go. Let's check it out. So here we got throttle body spacer, 4 bolts, and the extension for the throttle body cable that's in the harness in the car. So if you guys can't see this, there is a gasket here. Now this gasket is gonna go like behind the throttle body, so pretty much the throttle body is gonna go right on top like this. And yeah, because if you forget that throttle body, I'm sorry, the gasket, you have a bunch of issues. You're not gonna know what it is, but pretty much camouflages in there. So yeah, so don't forget that in case you guys are installing this kit. And so yeah, let's get it put on the car, and we can get started on getting the big mount on for the actual supercharger. Alright guys, so now that the throttle body and the spacer are both put on, along with the extension, we're going to work on getting the actual mount. It sits right here in this area for the actual supercharger, the blower, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so let me just bring it out and we'll get started. Alright guys, so here's the mount. It's not much to look at, to be honest. Pretty hefty thing, but pretty much to put it on, gotta take it apart, get all these pulleys off, and gotta mount this back piece on first. Then we can go about putting on everything else. So let's start with that. Okay, so here we have the plate. Here we have the bolt that's gonna replace that one we just took off. So yeah, check it out. Oh, it also has a spacer that goes behind it. That way it pushes further away from the cover. That way it doesn't hit any of the belts and nothing else. Alright, so now that you guys can see that, it's pretty much mocked up in place. All the bolts are still loose, but you guys can see where these go. So one here, spacer in the back on both sides, and a spacer behind here. You see it right there. And yeah, so be mindful when you guys put in these 2 longer bolts, just because they're not supposed to go in all the way. That way, when the other plate goes on, you have room to tighten these nuts that go on the ends. And yeah, so let's get those bolts tightened up, start putting in the other pulleys and the other plate. That way we can sandwich it all on. And yeah, okay guys, as you can see, got the other piece of the plate on, sandwiches the pulleys and whatnot together. So what we're gonna do before we or as we're actually putting on the pulleys, we're gonna actually run the belt. That way we run into no issues putting it in afterwards, because believe me, been there, done that. Super annoying. So yeah, let me just get the belt real quick, throw it on, and so on and so forth. Also the pulleys and whatnot. Hey guys, so everything's pretty much on there, loosely on there, obviously. Oh well, it's not tightened down, promise. Belt is ran. We zip tied this top part, that way it's not getting in our way. So you guys can see, all we gotta do is tighten these bolts, and plate will be on. After that, we're gonna work on running the piping for the intercooler, get the fan back in, and hopefully all goes well. As you guys can see, you got the fan in, mount in, belt is ran, just zip tied for the time being until the head unit goes on. Next we're gonna work on getting the intercooler piping. Hopefully it fits, because these AC lines, like I was explaining earlier. Yeah, so let's get started. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Actually, it's the next day. We're back trying to install Paxton kit. So yesterday ran into a few technical difficulties installing the intercooler piping on both sides, so this one and that one, because I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I specifically said I didn't want to delete the AC. Now well, I had to. So I'm not having any AC, no heater, nothing. I mean, it is what it is. It's either Supercharger or, you know, Pro Charger or AC. I mean, I did all of last summer, no AC. I think it'll be all right. But yeah, I also messed up some clamps. The kit also came with some messed up clamps, so I had to replace those. I'm also waiting on a coolant hose to get here. Don't know when that's gonna get here. But yeah, as you guys just saw, excuse me, Paxton is kind of in place, the actual blower. And yeah, so let me show you guys real quick. So the blower is actually in place. It's not bolted down completely yet, but yeah, the coupler for this one, the clamp got messed up, so I had to go replace it. Not the coupler, the clamp. Also had to move this radiator hose because that was getting in the way. And this coolant hose, if you guys know, these things are prone to leaking after taking them off. No idea why. The O-ring just doesn't seal as good the second time. So gonna get a new one of these hopefully by the end of today. And yeah, so hopefully once get the couplers back on, everything clamps down, get the fan in, and yeah, she should be good to go. Okay, so as you can see, we pretty much got it mocked up. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of put it on, make sure it's gonna fit up right, and see what kind of clearances I'm working with, you know. Stuff is still loose, belt's still not on, but yeah, I mean, we still got a lot to do. So here's a quick little update. But yeah, I mean, everything's on where it should be. Got a lot of clearance because the fan sits pretty low. However, the motor is raised because of my adjustable motor mounts. So yeah, looks good. And hopefully I can finish it tonight. Welcome back. It's day 3. Now, I didn't record any of this. My bad. Kind of just want to get everything done. But pretty much got the new spark plugs in. You gotta run a colder plug when you go with the Paxton kit. You gotta also gap them at 0.28. That way it obviously runs better, whatnot. And yeah, got all the coolant lines on. That one right there. This one up here. Got the coolant reservoir on, bolted down. So everything in the engine bay is completely done. Intercooler's mounted, piping's ran, Paxton's mounted, etc., etc. So now what I gotta do is pretty much figure out how to wire up the booster pump to my fuel pump, and all we gotta do is wait for the tune, and should be good to start her up. Now don't mind the mess, all right? I plan on fixing all this, but so pretty much you're gonna want to go to the back of the car, take off the plastic panel that goes over here, and want to get to this connector. So I'm gonna unplug it. Obviously, make sure your battery's unplugged. See this white wire right here at the very end? So this wire, you're gonna want to peel back. You want to peel back this loom. You want to cut that wire in 2, and then over here on the booster pump, these 2 red wires, one will go back into the plug, and one will go back towards the harness. Now you can mount this obviously as you see fit. I'll probably mount it somewhere here, but we'll see. And aside from that, I mean, that's pretty much it. And you just got to ground. These 2 other wires, I believe, are for a boost controller or some type of boost reference. You don't have to use it. You can just pretty much cancel them out. It's like I guess the guy that had this before me did. So yeah. So yeah, let's get started. So we're all wired up. Pretty much just tie them together, use some solder, then heat shrink them. I don't know if you guys can see this one. Same thing, and then just plug it back in and put the loom back on, whatever. I do need to buy a new fuse for this just because it's blown. You guys can see if it would focus. No, oh well, it's blown. It's 30 amp fuse and it's blown, so whatever. Gotta get that, gotta replace it, and yeah, so pretty much now what I gotta do is just drain the tank and put some 91 in it, wait for my tune. All right guys, welcome back. Day 4 I think it is. So car's pretty much completely pretty much done. All right, everything's done. Everything's put together, everything's wired, and now we're just gonna go for the first startup. So tune's already loaded in. I already took care of that, and so yeah, so check this out. Okay guys, we're in the car now. Make sure it's in neutral, handbrake's up.